This video features lottery winners who dreamt about it and then won.
Are you listening?
So this video features lottery winners who dreamt about winning and then won the lottery. It's actually a preview to a podcast interview I hosted with Daniel Howard, who won £1 million tax-free from EuroMillions. So this interview with Daniel Howard is fascinating for a number of reasons, but he actually had a dream about winning it before he won. There were so many serendipitous things that happened. I will put a link to the entire interview below, but this happened to me. I actually had a dream about winning the lottery, winning the Powerball way back in the day in 1999 before I won it. So it came up within the interview and we had this discussion about it. Before I get to this, I do want to add that if you are skeptical about this type of thing, that is okay with me. This channel is all about just being authentic, and this did happen. I'm not trying to convince anyone of anything, but I find this topic very, very fascinating. Here is a preview. When you saw that on your phone and it said £1 million, I mean, what was the process like to understand that it was actually real?
Yeah, well, I mean, so part of that process of actually coming to the realization that it was real was scanning the ticket multiple times just to make sure that I saw the same thing, just to make sure that that £1 million came up every single time I scanned the ticket. And of course it did. But obviously the real moment was when I picked the phone up and I called Camelot and I spoke to Corinne. She asked me to read out the barcode on the ticket, and then I heard her typing. I heard her, heard the typing on the keyboard. There was a bit of a silence. There was a pause, and then she said, "Congratulations! I can confirm you won £1 million." And that's when I knew that £1 million on the screen was real. It was at that moment when she confirmed it. That's when I knew it was real.
Wow! I mean, it had to have felt like a dream.
Well, it did. And it's very funny you should say the word dream. You should talk about dream, because I actually had a dream that I was going to win. I had a dream it was probably about 3 years before I won. I remember this so vividly, Tim. I remember this like it was yesterday. I had a dream that I was walking into a post office and I had the lottery ticket and I handed it over. And the guy scanned it and he said, "Congratulations." He said, "You've won £1 million." He said, "Here's your check." And I remember him handing me a check in the dream for £1 million. It felt so real. It was one of those dreams. I don't know if you've ever had one of those dreams where it doesn't feel like a dream, where you actually think it's real until you wake up. So I had the check in my hand in the dream and I was so happy. I thought, "Oh, I've done it. I've done it." And then I woke up.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
I can completely empathize with that. I mean, something very similar happened to me a few months prior to winning. I had this very vivid dream that I had won, that I had already won, and it was so real that it took a little bit after waking up to understand that it had not already happened. From that time on, I believed that it was going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, I think these are things. I mean, dreams are one of the areas in life that neuroscientists and neuropsychologists really haven't even begun to scratch the surface of investigating. And it's something which I'm really, really interested in. Actually, I have a couple of books on dream interpretations. But it is one of those things, isn't it? As someone who's experienced it yourself, like, how do you explain it? I mean, when you had that dream, I mean, what did you do after that? I mean, how did that affect you?
Well, I started playing more consistently, almost, at least.
I bet you did.
I would start playing at least once per week, and at the time I was working at a gas station, so selling these tickets, it was constantly on my mind, and I was selling these tickets, but I also tried to buy one every, at least once a week. And I told people that I was going to win. I told coworkers, I told friends, and, people are like, "Oh, that Tim, but it happened." And some people think that's just a coincidence that I dreamt about it and then it happened. And then a lot of people think that it wasn't. And I just find the whole subject very, very fascinating. And we're not the only people. It happens to a lot of people that win the lottery. And of course, you don't have to have a dream to have a chance to win. Most lottery winners have not dreamt about it, but an impressive, interestingly enough, quite a few winners have dreamt about it. It's fascinating.
It is. It's really fascinating. Although they do say that correlation is not causation. So just because people have dreams, I'm sure, you imagine out of a population of 7 billion people in the world, I'm sure a large proportion of people have dreams about winning the lottery. So I'm sure some of the people who actually go on to win also happen to have dreams. But I do think, like you said, it is actually a really, really fascinating area, and it's something which I'm kind of looking into as well, because it's like, how can you have a dream about something and then it actually happens? It's mind blowing. And in fact, I'm really glad you reminded me, because talking about dreaming of winning the lottery, one of the things that I used to do at night, just before I went to bed, before I went to sleep, was that I used to close my eyes and I used to imagine and envisage the raffle numbers on the lottery ticket. And in fact, I can show you here. I can show your viewers here. Show you. So you've got the raffle numbers which are there.
Yes, yeah, I see those numbers there.
Yeah, it's the letters and numbers. Mm-hmm. And I used to close my eyes when I was in bed, and I used to imagine those numbers. Like if you can imagine an Excel spreadsheet or a computer spreadsheet with all the raffle numbers, thousands of raffle numbers scrolling down. I used to close my eyes and I used to imagine the lottery computer selecting my number, highlighting it in yellow, kind of in fluorescent yellow and highlighted yellow. I used to imagine the computer selecting my number, my raffle code, and I used to do that regularly. So that's also something which is that blew my mind as well.
If you could talk to yourself in a time machine, the Daniel Howard after winning the lottery, after winning £1 million, what would you say to the Daniel Howard before?
I would say to myself, kind of, well done for believing in it, because you do get ridiculed. I don't know if you ever had this, but people are skeptical. People say, "Oh yeah, you had a dream that you were going to win. You've written this check." Like people think you're a bit of a wacko, a bit, some people think you're a bit strange, oh yeah, you're going to manifest it. Yeah. And I used to say to people, I am. And I believed it. I absolutely, in my heart, in my soul, in my mind, I genuinely believed it. I believed it was going to happen. And all of the things that I did were, first of all, they were true, like writing the check. I mean, really, what more proof can you have? The fact that I actually wrote a check for £1 million and then it actually happened. If that doesn't prove to people that it can actually happen, that manifestation can actually happen, it is a real concept, then I don't know what is. I mean, I don't know how when you told people that you had a dream about winning the lottery, and obviously you then went on to win, what was people? I'd be very interested. What were people's reactions to you?
Well, some people, I remember one coworker specifically, and more than one person actually, they said, well, if anyone was going to win the lottery, it'll be you. And so that just then reinforced my belief that this might happen. But the dream, and then some people just laughed it off and thought I was just joking. But, I honestly believed that it was going to happen after having that dream, because it wasn't the only dream that I've had that has come true. And so after having had a few dreams that came true, I could sort of tell the difference in how real they felt to me. And so then I believed that it was going to happen.
On a certain level, this is something which cannot be explained by rationality, by science, by kind of, it is on another level almost. We always had this running joke. My mum, after I won, and I told my mum I won £1 million, and she knew that I'd written the check, because she always used to say every week, she said to me, "Are you a millionaire yet? Are you a millionaire yet?" And then when I finally did it, she asked me that question just as a joke. She said, the usual thing. She said, "Oh, have you won the lottery yet? Have you won £1 million yet?" And I said, "Actually, Mum, I have." And I showed her my phone, and she was just, she couldn't believe it. She was just absolutely, and she said to me, it's funny because she said, "You idiot. She said, why didn't you write yourself a check for £10 million?
So that was a preview to my podcast interview with lottery winner Daniel Howard. If you like this video, go ahead and hit the like button. Let me know in the comments, what did you think of this video, and what do you think about dreaming about something before it happens in real life? It's a fascinating topic. If you want to see more videos and interviews like this one, go ahead and hit the subscribe button and the bell icon to be notified when they come out. Again, I will put a link to the entire interview with Daniel Howard below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and thank you for your support.